Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stock Trading Pro today. We have a ton of stuff to talk about today. We're going to break down the CPI report and whether or not it shows that inflation has peaked. We're going to determine whether or not that means now is the best time to buy stocks and step in while the S&P 500 is trying its best to support that $400 level. We're going to point out which stocks are showing relative strength. I'm also going to take you behind the scenes into my private trading account where we're going to walk you through the custom scans that I've set up to determine which ideas are the best stocks to buy now. There's not a lot of them right now. So that's where we're also going to talk about the concept of buying in the hole, which means buying on the way down when you believe that the sector or the industry group has bottomed out. We're also going to talk about some significant news on the crypto side of things, where crypto stocks have been getting beat up pretty good. Coinbase came out yesterday, got absolutely demolished. And we're going to go to the other side of the market and talk about electric vehicle stocks, which are getting a boost. NEO stock getting a boost. Is it worth buying NEO stock right now down at these levels with all of the uncertainty? I'd rather be taking a look at Tesla right now. I know it's a little bit expensive for some people, but you want to buy quality, and that's the big thing we're going to talk about today. We're going to break down one particular sector, but I think the most important thing we're going to talk about today is understanding how to do the basics of scanning for order flow. That's really the most important thing. I mean, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know that we break it down from monthly, weekly, hourly, daily, all the way down to that shorter time frame on VWAP if we happen to be day trading. We're going to stick to the higher time frames in this call because we want to give you some ideas for this week and hopefully for the rest of the month. It's a very shorter time frame right now because we have bearish order flow, but we're looking for bullish momentum to kick in. So we have this big pressure on the downside, looking for today's number at 830. So we're actually going to jump right into the charts. We're going to get right into it. I'm really excited to show you the scans today. So stick around. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so obviously everything we talk about today is for educational purposes. It's my mission to help you make better decisions. So we're going to hop right on over. We're going to go right into sector rotation. And obviously the picture for the week, not really the most beautiful picture you can possibly imagine. Energy, which has been at the top of the list for 7 consecutive days, starting to work its way down where the price of oil is coming down a little bit as well. Little bit of a pocket of opportunity here in a place you probably wouldn't have expected it. Which is energy technology, showing some bids yesterday. By the way, one of the most common questions that we get are, tell me which stocks are the best stocks to actively trade. One of the ways that we do things is we put stocks in scans, which are daily scans that could change every day. And then we have this list of stocks that we kind of call your personal ATM machine. And those are the stocks that have good every day, have good liquidity, every day have good volatility. And that's really kind of the professional trader way of looking at things, where you don't necessarily need a monster list of stocks. Although if you can follow one, there's nothing wrong with having that. And we're going to break that down as well in just a second when we take a look at the sectors and the custom scans that I have in the sectors. I think it's going to be kind of fun. But one of the stocks that, I'll give you two actually right now, AMD and SQ Block, have been just absolutely amazing from an active trading volatility perspective, where it's been readable, has had plenty of liquidity, and offered plenty of opportunity. Now, that last part of the equation, let me actually go over to those charts just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. First, obviously, we take a look at the futures, up 46 at this point. We're going to get into that in a second. But this is really the thing that I want to talk about with AMD. You can see that AMD from last week, Monday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, it has offered for a $90 stock, sometimes 10% moves in one day. And Square, very, very similar, which is basically around the same price, also offering some 10% moves in just one day. Now, the reason that's so significant is obviously we want to be involved in stocks. We want to buy the right stocks at the right time. I know that sounds like a cliche, but you need to have those stocks at the right time. There's a common misconception that traders just sit around and look at scans all day, waiting for ideas to pop out. And ironically, I'm going to show you my scans, but these are my swing trade scans. Nothing could be further from the truth if you understand how and when traders make money. Active professional traders make money when you understand how the best opportunities are unfolding, but you find those before the market opens, not after the market opens, which actually takes me into my scans. And I think this is kind of important. First, I'm going to just do a little brief on, just in case anybody doesn't know what's going on this morning, and pretty much what the entire stock market is waiting for right now, which is the CPI data. Okay, the CPI data is coming out at 8:30, scheduled to come out at 8:30 this morning, and really breaking it down. If I could just zoom this in a little bit more for you here right now, this is what everybody's looking for. Is it the sign that inflation is peaked? That's what everybody wants to know right now. Now, again, I want to be clear about this. The futures are up right now. If you watched our video on yesterday morning, we actually walked you through how I talked about on our coaching call on Monday night, which is our private coaching call with our community, where we talked about the size of the negative tick readings, the New York Stock Exchange tick indicator, and how it was leading me to believe that there was massive selling, but we were still kind of stuck in a window, which implies to me that there is bullish accumulation going on in that area. And so far, since Monday, Tuesday, and now heading into Wednesday, we have not had that big crushing blow to the downside. So what we're looking for as a trader right now is whether or not that buying that we saw, that massive buying, massive volume, and specifically in the S&P 500, that did not give us those giant red candles where we went lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, closing on the lows and feeling like everything, they're just throwing everything out and doesn't matter what stock it is. We did not have that kind of selling. Now, I want to put in context the video that we put up yesterday. I just want to give you a brief view of what we're talking about. So we're talking about the New York Stock Exchange tick indicator. Let me actually get these guys off the screen here. Let me come on the screen, and we're going to talk about this guy right here. Okay, now this looks like a giant mess, right? It looks like, oh my gosh, how are you supposed to read this thing? But really what it comes down to, and if we go into yesterday, we're only looking at three things. We're looking at 0, we're looking at plus 500, and we're looking at negative 500. So if we could put this in context, and if you happen to be a day trader, this is really something you want to be watching right now. We're going to get to my scans in just 1 second. What the New York Stock Exchange tick reading does, and I know John Bates is on the call right now. There's another one that we watched that is the NASDAQ tick reading. If you could imagine, it measures upticks versus downticks. So these numbers don't lie. It's not an indicator. It's raw data of how many stocks are going up right now versus down. This is one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite day trading indicator. When you are seeing it at 0, that means that there's kind of equilibrium. There's no dominant force in the market. Buyers are not in charge. Sellers are not in charge. But you need to be aware of that 0 line, because as upticks happen, you want to measure how much they're going up. So in other words, how many stocks at that moment are printing higher? When I say printing higher, I mean 50. It goes from 50 to 50.02. Like that. It's just as simple as that. Don't make it more complicated. So how many at that moment are happening, and over a period of time? So over the last half hour, over the last day. When you look at this chart, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's really complicated. But it's really not. We're just looking at how many times and with what kind of consistency is it hitting those numbers. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for every single reading. So if you could imagine you're driving your car and you're just going to look at your speedometer once in a while. You're going to look down at your speedometer. You want to make sure you're doing okay. You want to get a feel for the road, right? That's what the tick reading is doing. So the last 2 days, the tick readings have been pounding down to that negative 1,000 number, and the market has closed weak, but we didn't get the big flush to the downside. So that's the first part of it, right? So you can see these big negative 1,000 tick readings, and that implies heavy selling. But when you get heavy selling, you should have gotten big moves to the downside, and we didn't. So if you remember in the video that we put out yesterday, and I'll post a link for this at the end of the video so you can watch that, we were talking about pounding, not going down, pounding, not going down. So we said, if this happens, then I know what I'm definitely going to do. So if you have in your head this map of price action where it should do this, and then if it does, you're golden. You get in there and you start to buy stocks like you said you were going to. But if we should go down and it doesn't, that's a signal as well. And that's a step higher that you need to learn how to think as an active trader who wants to put money into your account and see your account grow. It's not just as simple as run a scan, read Reddit, watch Kramer. It's not that simple. You need to have the depth of your conviction. And that comes from, if this happens, then what? If this happens, then what? All day long, every moment that you're in the market. Now, if you're swing trading, which I know a lot of people are doing here, I'm not saying you have to be obsessed with the market, but you do need to be putting the pieces together to say, okay, what would make me want to get out of some of my longer term positions? What would make me want to scale out Or like we just talked about before, what would make me want to buy in the hole? Now, buying in the hole means a stock that's going down, but still has that bullish tone to it. So I'm going to give you what I mean by that. The last line for us is that 50-period moving average. If I'm buying in the hole on the way down in something that I think has bullish order flow, that 50-period moving average is the last line in the sand where I'd be looking to bid. So I'm going to show you what that means on daily charts. And we're going to actually go over to, I'm going to go over to VLO, and we're going to drop the 50-period moving average on there because it's easily the most consistent one. So you can see this is a good example of buying in the hole. This is a good example of buying in the hole where the stock has pulled back significantly, but still meets that bullish criteria. Now, that's different from buying bearish stocks that are below that level. That's different from buying in the hole. That's actually hoping, and we don't want anything to do with hoping, which translates over into the scans that I'm going to show you right now and how we run those scans from multiple angles. The biggest thing I want to get across to you right now, no matter how you do your scans, it's critical that you try and run the same scan to find the best stocks to buy in different ways. Some of them are above the moving average. Some of them are above the May 1st opening price. Some of them are above Monday's opening price. Some of them are above today's opening price. The more angles you can hit looking for bullish order flow, looking for ideas that make sense, you'll start to uncover ideas that are not obvious just running that basic, it's above the 20-period moving average scan. So I'm actually going to walk you through and take a look and show you exactly what I mean. Let's actually go over to here. And I want to first show you some of the ideas that I'm running. And let me actually move this off the screen right now here so you can see it a little bit better. So you can see here in the scans, this list of stocks is pretty ginormous. It's about 180 stocks. But I'm not looking to trade all 180 stocks. I'm only looking for the market to filter out the ideas that matter right now. So I want to give you a perspective on this column and this column because there's two different ways of tracking it. And what's interesting about this is I'm tracking it from, number one, from a percentage gain basis. And percentage gain basis means that I am looking to determine whether or not it's a $20 stock or an $800 stock, which stocks have moved the biggest percentage. So that kind of allows a $20 stock to get up there and fight to say, look, I'm strong. I might have only moved $2, but I'm up 12% over a very short period of time. So we're going to take a look at that first. Then we're going to hit the next scan, which is a dollar amount, which is where a lot of active traders start to first looking at the stocks that are kind of higher priced and typically have those $5 to $10 to $30 to $50 moves on a daily basis, which Tesla is actually one of those. So I want to give you some ideas when you're running your own scans, and maybe you could even build out these custom scripts. I happen to be using TradeStation. A lot of people in the community use Thinkorswim. So I'm just going to walk you through. So this column right here, which is called the interval column, and this one right here, net change bar from the open, is telling me the percentage change in this big list of 180 stocks. And actually, I want to give you a heads up here. I'm going to leave this on the screen. Please take screenshots. I want you to take this so that you can start to think through how using whatever software you're using can give you ideas to find order flow, even in a really tough stock market like we're looking at right now. Okay, I want you to screenshot it. Okay, so this column right here tells me the net change percentage of the current bar. This interval is telling us what it would look like on a monthly candlestick. So it's not telling us the last month. It's not telling us the last 21 days, which a lot of softwares, when they default to the last month, they do 21 days because that's the average trading days in a month. This is telling us the net change percentage gain from the opening price in May. So remember, it's our job to find and stack that order flow. Now, I'm going to break this down a little bit more for you, but I first want to explain the scans so that maybe I can help you think of different ways to start doing this for yourself. Again, I give you all this. If you want to join our boot camp, our next boot camp actually starts next Monday. It's 14 days. I'd love to see you in there. I do all of this work for you and show you exactly how to break this down. If you want to learn, you can find out more in the link below in the description. Okay, so when we're talking about here, this is the interval, if you could imagine a monthly candle, and this is scanning by percentage. Now we're going to work our way over here because if you remember what I just said, we want to hit a big list of stocks from multiple angles, different types of order flows to uncover different, what we've been calling pockets of opportunity during the day. There was two yesterday, one on the short side, one on the long side. We've had kind of two-way trading recently. if you're aware of understanding how to read the order flow, how to read the tape, you have that structure, you're going to have unlimited opportunities as long as there's volatility in the market. But what we're touching on right now is how to prepare to have that opportunity. This is all set up already. It's an hour and a half before the market opens. All of the game planning is done already from last night. I'm just showing you how to prep for it so that when the market opens, you're basically just sitting back saying, all right, I'm just going to have my water and wait for entry signals. That's the difference between somebody who struggles and thinks the market is overwhelming from somebody like, obviously, like what I do and what I teach is we are prepared last night for today. The only thing that we're doing today is just checking the news to see if there's anything coming out, which, by the way, obviously we want to talk about the news very quickly here. Coinbase got absolutely destroyed yesterday. Earnings crushed the stock. Talking about subscribers are declining. I think that's going to change dramatically if Bitcoin catches a bid. Also, we have Disney earnings coming out after the close. If Netflix is any indication, this is going to take a big hit as well. Subscriber growth going down. And we're also going to talk about these guys right here, NIO and the other electric vehicle stocks. As of right now, again, we're going to have to take a look in this bottom right-hand corner over here. NIO's up 3.5%, but this is what we're talking about. It's bearish order flow. So we're fighting this months and months of selling. But I do want to point some of these out to you right now on the electric vehicle side of things. Maybe you can find some opportunity today. LI, again, bearish order flow, but it's up 9% pre-market. And we also have XPEV, which is up 7.7% pre-market. Now, I want to make this very clear because now I'm going to take you to the other side of the scans, and this is an important one. If you are trading bearish order flow and selling pressure is the dominant force, those are clearly not the best ideas to be buying. And again, if you just go very quickly and eyeball it, we said that anything above this level, like kind of right here or in this window of opportunity here, is a buying opportunity. But since the beginning of this year, it's been bearish. So the better opportunities in these electric vehicle stocks have actually been selling or selling short opportunities or using them as a hedge against long positions. So selling short weak stocks against the stocks that you want to own, they kind of compensate each other. So if those weak stocks go down and your strong stocks go down, you're protecting or holding your strong stocks against that unrealized loss because you're making money as the weak stocks go down. So really the strategy here, again, to keep it super high level, buying strong stocks, selling short weak stocks. So despite the fact that these electric vehicle stocks have bids this morning pre-market based on the news, mostly off of NIO talking about a lower price sedan, there's still a selling opportunity. So this is not buying in the hole. That's bottom fishing, and we don't talk about that. Buying in the hole means you're buying a strong stock that is pulled back to the deepest level that would still tell you it's bullish. Might want to watch this stuff one more time, all right? So we're actually going to hop now over into the scan. So let me pull that up on the screen here again. So this is the sorting by the month. So if I do the same exact thing here and pull it over on the week, you're going to see the list of stocks change. So if we sort this now, it's a different list of stocks here because now this is measuring the percentage gains from Monday's opening price. So net change bar from the open, let me pull that out a little bit there. You can see that a little bit more. This is now looking at weekly candlesticks and filtering it down. That's the minimum raw data. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through going through deeper data. So now you're really pulling out the best of the best ideas on both the long side of the market here. But first, I'm going to flip this to the short side of the market so you can get a feel for which stocks actually have the best bearish order flow right now if you are okay with and understand short selling ideas. So I just gave you that. Hopefully you can screenshot it. You can take, these are the best stocks to buy now based on hitting it from different angles. So I'm going to show you that right now. And right here on the weekly, right? So the weekly chart is showing these stocks right now have the best bullish order flow since Monday's opening price. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to filter this down even more. I'm going to make this into a daily chart right there. So this is now telling us daily candlesticks, and we're going to break that down. And obviously some of these healthcare stocks actually caught a bid yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to now take this list and we're going to go over into a different column, which is this one right here. So this breakdown now is a little bit different. You can see that I have a weekly chart here, and the criteria that I have here is interesting. So I'm going to take you back to the other column right over here. This now is a different set of data. This is showing change from the open from a dollar perspective, not a percent perspective. So essentially what we're going to do now is we're going to sort this by dollar, and now you can see a whole different list, NVEX, FedEx, completely different list of stocks, because now it's a dollar amount, not a percentage amount. So again, you want to be taking screenshots of this. So I'm encouraging you to take a screenshot because I want you to really think through, are you doing the right work? Are you doing the right amount of work? And are you focusing on the right stocks? And again, I'm on video. I know I'm not supposed to say anything I'm not supposed to say. This is all for educational purposes, but I'm going to say this in a really strong way. When you understand how to identify the dominant force in the market, and we call that order flow. When you understand how to read the tape and you have the structure of understanding the optimal entry, understanding risk reversal, nothing else in the market matters, because you're only looking for what you want to see. So what I'm showing you on the charts right now is me step by step going, okay, I'm going to hit it from this angle, from percentage. I'm going to hit it from this angle, from the month, from a dollar perspective. I'm going to hit it from this angle, from the week, for a dollar perspective. And if you're day trading, you can go all the way down. So we're going to keep hitting these, but then I'm going to go over to the perfect criteria, which will be the last thing that I'll show you as far as the scans are concerned. So this is monthly dollar amount. Then I'm going to do the same thing here on the weekly. So you can see this entire list of stocks changed just based on the dollar gains since Monday. So if you're looking for the best ideas, instead of having an alert that pops up in the middle of the day for a stock you've never seen before, the right way to do it, and yeah, I'm going to say it that strongly, the right way to do it is to have stocks that already exhibit bullish order flow to determine those are the stocks you want to buy. Those are the stock picks. Then you take those stocks and you put them into your software. And when you sort the columns correctly, and we're not going to get into all that right now, the software will now spit out, okay, these stocks were buying opportunities based on order flow and tape reading coming into the day. So you have your list of stocks for the day or the week, depends on if you're day trading or swing trading, and which of those columns you're watching will determine which ones matter to you based on whether you're day trading or swing trading. After the market opens, now your software, if programmed properly, which again is the very first thing that I do in a live session in the boot camp, the first Monday of the boot camp, I go over chart setup and watch list setup. It's the very first thing. It's a live session. Again, I'd love to see you in there. Next Monday is our next boot camp. So that's the weekly one. Okay. Next, if you're looking for day trading ideas, we're going to be looking here. We're going to be looking at which stocks had the largest green candles. So if you take a look at this, NVEX, which had a giant gap down after earnings, yesterday's candle had a giant green candle. Adobe, a big green candle. So what are we looking for there? We're looking for, in that shortest moment of opportunity today, if we are day traders, we are looking for which stocks have the biggest green candle right now. Those are the ones that should have your attention. And yesterday, all day long, we were talking about NVEX just kept floating higher when the market was seeing some selling pressure. There was relative strength. So even though in the big picture of NVEX, there's bearish order flow, the day trading criteria for that yesterday, it just kept floating to the upside, and you don't fight the tape. When you understand tape reading from day to day, hour to hour, week to week, month to month, price action is actually pretty simple, but you need to have that structure in the first place, which is a core part of what we do. So now I'm going to take you over to a different screen, which shows you the best case scenario for all of those ideas. Okay. So we're going to head on over back into a different screen. And what's super interesting here versus what we see here. So first thing I want to do is I want to walk you through the criteria here. I'm not sure if you could see it perfectly. Let me see. Maybe I could take a screenshot of that and make it a little bit bigger for you. Okay, I'm going to take that right there. And that's probably a little bit more clear. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the monthly change from the open is at least 50 cents. The weekly change from the open is at least a quarter. And the last price is at least $10. So what I'm looking for there now is in all of these stocks in the different sectors. And again, I'll show you where I got this list of stocks from, which is here. We give this out to everybody in our community. It's this list right here where it's basically broken down by group. So we've taken those stocks and we put those stocks into this list, and then we break it down further into this list. So what's kind of interesting is you can see the criteria I'm looking at from May and I'm looking at from Monday, and a minimum of $10. So it has a little bit of volatility for me. Okay. No stocks in the communication services sector match that criteria. No stocks in consumer cyclical. No stocks in basic material. One stock, Kroger, actually meets it. A couple of stocks in technology. But look over here. We're seeing a bunch of healthcare stocks that meet that criteria for this month. We're seeing a couple of industrial stocks that are perking up and showing some buying pressure. Now you can see here, these are still negative on the industrial side. So what we can actually see over here, BNTX has the largest move to the upside on the weekly candle right there. So what we're trying to get across here is that if you want your trading to be easier. Now, again, I'm not saying do this and you're just going to be profitable, because you still need to know the skill of trading. Having an edge is what to look at. Making money is the next level skill. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle, because they think that finding ideas and trading are the same thing. They're not the same thing. Finding ideas is the roadmap. Anybody can plug that into the GPS. If you're older like me, you understood we used to use a Hagstrom map and you'd have to write that out. You have this big map that was like this big in your car. Just finding the map is only knowing where you're going. Trading is actually getting behind the car and understanding different conditions when you're behind the wheel and you got the gas, the brake, and all that stuff going on. So if you're struggling right now, it's probably two things. Number one, how you look at the market is probably not as clear as you want it to be, and quite frankly, need it to be. So obviously what I'm walking you through now to find the best stocks to buy, and hopefully you took a bunch of screenshots of those before, these are the opportunities that you find when you have an edge and you only look for that edge. The second part of that is what happens between entry and exit, which is position sizing, trailing profitable trades, when to get out into momentum. Yesterday, we talked about this almost the whole day. We had some pockets of opportunity yesterday, and specifically in the afternoon. And I'll just walk you through what that looks like here. And specifically, again, even if we just take a look at the SPY and we drop this down to a shorter term window, this rally right here. So if you could visualize what I was talking about before at the very start of this call, which we were watching the New York Stock Exchange tick indicator. So when you're watching what we call the market internals, when you're watching sector rotation light up and head in a different direction, where all of the stocks in that big list go from red to green that hour, all of a sudden now you have this longer term move to the downside. But right now, the whole market turned, and you had that pocket of opportunity that you see here from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I know what you're saying right now. I'm not a day trader. It doesn't matter. The same exact process of preparing and knowing when it changes is what makes you a trader, as opposed to just somebody who's hoping they make money. You do not want to hope you make money. You want to be prepared. And then as the market's unfolding, you sit back and you're like, that's what I was looking for. And now we call it, in the room, we say, belly up to the bar. There's something to do. And when I say that in the community, you hear me say, come on now. And that means that something is happening. And then we do this big explanation of what's happening and what that translates into a trade. So if we take a look at this idea and this opportunity from yesterday, it was a small pocket of opportunity. Now, forget about the fact that it's a 5-minute chart. This could be a weekly chart and 5 weeks of buying. What's more important here is recognizing the fact that that move to the upside was fighting this much bigger move to the downside. So this is, again, now we're talking about trading. We've left scans, we've left hitting order flow, preparing you for when the CPI number comes out in a half an hour from now. You already have a list of stocks that you're looking to buy, or the other side of the market. I'll give you a scan on that in a second, possibly short sell. Yesterday afternoon's rally, this right here, and this one, quite honestly, from yesterday, was a cash flow trade. So this is what separates somebody who is on top of their game and reading the tape and has structure from somebody saying it's going up, this is it, I'm going to make the home run. You have to recognize that the road opened up there, but it was cash flow. You were exiting into the first sign of that bullish momentum against the bearish selling. As soon as that momentum slowed down, because you were fighting that big angry bear that's in there right now, you had to book profits into momentum when it slowed down, as opposed to looking for bigger gains. This is what we do all day, every day. It doesn't matter if it's a day trade or a swing trade. If you want to elevate what you do and you want to be the reason you make money, not some YouTube dude, not some guy on Reddit. You want to be the reason you make money. And putting these pieces together is the first step. Then learning how to manage that trade in the conditions that you're in is what's going to make you somebody special. But you need to do this prep work first, because after the market opens, there's really not that much to do except assess the conditions and then look for entries and exits if there's something to do. Now, if that sounds too simplified for you, then you're making trading too hard. Look, I'm just going to say it right now. I'm not going to say it's easy to make money. What I am going to say is it's easy to learn how to be on the right side of all these ideas. Then, obviously, if we're trading together and you're in our Discord channel, I'm literally walking you through all of this in real time on audio, so I can tell you, here's what's going on, and here's what that means. That's what separates somebody who says trading doesn't work from somebody who's putting in the time and being prepared. Successful trading, all of this stuff gets done before the market opens, so that when the market, and I give you all of this, I'm giving you the video at night, I'm giving you the research document, I'm giving you the stock picks, all of it, okay? I want to give you some ideas on the other side of the market, just in case the CPI number is not viewed properly and that big rally that we have in the futures actually heads down. So we're actually going to head back over to the scans, which is this one. So everything that we did here was on the bullish side of things. We're actually going to go back over here and sort this back into a monthly chart, but now we're going to sort it from negative. So take a screenshot of this. This is the list of stocks that have bearish order flow and are selling opportunities. And you can see here in the context, this is a monthly chart, in the context of the big picture. So if the market ends up having selling pressure after 8:30 comes out, this is the first sign that I'd be looking for. So again, yes, I have lists on both sides of the market. So when the market opens, I already know these are the stocks I want to be a buyer of. These are the stocks that I might want to hedge or sell short. I'm not chasing stocks. I am literally sitting back, talking to everybody who's in our community, walking them through the market conditions, just from day trading and swing trading. And really, it's just a matter of what happens at that point and how we interact with it. There's no stress. There's no overwhelm. If the market is stressing you out of your mind right now, it's just a matter of understanding what to look at and how to prepare. Once you understand how to prepare, then you're really just running a trading business. And dare I say, it becomes fun at that point. Now, look, I didn't say easy. I said it becomes fun because you're in control of the outcome. You still need to understand position size. You need to understand profit taking. You need to have the discipline to kick trades out. But what we covered today, there's a lot of stocks that are potential buying opportunities today because they already have relative strength. They already have buying pressure while the market has weakness. Those are the stocks that we want to go after first. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video right now. You could watch it. I don't know if it's going to be over here, or below the video, but it'll definitely be here. I'm going to give you another video on sector rotation and how I pick the best stocks to buy each day. All right. Have an awesome day, everybody. I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much. 8:30 numbers, be glued to that because that's going to really affect the rest of the day, maybe even the rest of the month. All right. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much, everyone.